real quickly because we're so excited to be rocking each and every year. I can't remember, maybe over the last 4 or 5 years. This time of year, we always have this special bracketology expert to come in and hang out with us. And if you're in the state of North Carolina or anywhere in this country, you probably know who it is. He's the Attorney General for the state of North Carolina, man, and a huge basketball fan. And we're so excited to be welcomed back to the sports shop, Attorney General Josh Stein. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
How are you? How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited. It's the best time of year.
So, did you see the game last night?
I did not. I had something going on, but I read about it, and I was not surprised. I think I watched them play Carolina, and literally with 3 minutes left in the first half against UNC, they had 9 points. They had 9 points. And I was texting my sons. I was like, I pray they don't make a basket because I've not seen a single-digit game except for that UNC 7-0 game against Duke when Dean Smith held it in the four corners.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Was Fields playing?
They got all the way up to they got all the way up to like 15 points at half. And so whether they get 14, 16.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it's like watching paint dry, and it's bad. It's a bad look on paint because paint's probably better.
Right, that's disrespectful to paint.
Wow.
I don't know how he's going to continue to recruit because he could only build teams when he have people for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
But I think if you get a great player, no one's going to stay there 3 or 4 years if you're scoring 16 points and a half.
But if you're a volume shooter, that's the right home for you. Because you're going to take all the shots.
Because no one else can shoot.
No one else can shoot.
And the thing is, Pam brought up a good point earlier we was talking about is that he may have to change his philosophy. I mean, he's a great coach.
Yeah,
but
defensive.
But these players these days, and the style of play is quite different. And that play, you got to play great defense. The other team got to be mediocre enough in order for you to win. And you got to be able to shoot because they play great defense, but they just can't shoot. And when they can't shoot, that's a problem.
So witnessing it firsthand in D.C.
Yeah, that's right.
I knew this was a possibility. I knew this was a possibility. It was like, ooh, they really can't shoot.
And unfortunately, because I love Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pitt was better.
Pitt was better.
That's what makes it such a heartburn.
Yeah, just watching a good team not make it.
Right.
For a team that doesn't know how to score.
Right. And the thing is, they were the third team in the ACC, Virginia. So what does that say about the ACC? That's what I'm talking about. And people are like, that was the third team in the ACC?
Yeah.
They see how they lost to
their strength
Colorado State,
their
Mount West.
schedule was really weak.
Yeah.
You know how, because it's not equal. You don't play everybody twice in the ACC. They just happen to have a bottom-heavy schedule. And they started out better, and then they went on a terrible spin at the end, downspin at the end of the year.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the serious part of this conversation. Well, one of the serious things. We've got some other stuff I want to talk about. I cheated and I looked over at your.
Yeah, I got the bracket right here.
But hold on. But let me tell you though. Do you use my philosophy? Well, I started in the middle and I worked my way out that way.
You got to look at each matchup.
Okay,
Reese.
so let's talk about. So let's go to your. Give us some highlights from your bracket. What you got?
Well, the East is crazy because you have 3 of last year's Final Four teams in the same sub-regional. I mean, it's kind of crazy. UConn, FAU, and San Diego State. And then you have Auburn, which won the SEC. Coming out of that is going to be UConn. They're just beasts.
You think so?
Yeah, they're just beasts. I mean, maybe Auburn can beat them because Auburn's played a lot of good teams and they're playing well right now. But I think it's going to be UConn.
But to your point, though, you said something I didn't know. Let me add to that. They got 3 conference winners, regular season tournament winners, like Auburn was one of them,
Illinois
and Iowa State.
Yeah, they all won their conference.
And guess
tournaments.
what though? I'm picking Iowa State to come out of there.
Are you? All right.
I'm picking Iowa State because I see
they
them
made
play.
Houston look ridiculous.
They beat the Brits off of Houston.
Exactly.
And I still think Houston's gonna. I'll go ahead and cheat. I think they're gonna get to the finals on that side of the bracket because they're grown men.
They
That's
are.
true.
They are. I mean,
they are so
they got baby
strong.
seats in the back car. I mean, they got 401 kids. They are grown men, like for real.
And you know who their coach is? He's Kelvin Sampson from Robinson County.
Robinson County, shout out North Carolina. That's right.
Lumbee Indian.
That's right. Exactly right. Okay, so you got
UConn
right
coming on that side.
Okay,
they're going to beat Illinois in the championship of that bracket.
Okay,
BYU, great shooting team, but great shooting teams don't go too far because eventually you miss.
Okay.
I do have Iowa State going far, but just not all the way.
Okay.
And then on the west side, this is the bracket that CBS executives drew up because they want Carolina to play Michigan State in the second round, and then they want Carolina to play Arizona in the regional final.
Yep.
Neither of those things are happening.
Okay. Well, by the way,
but not for the reason you think, Kmac.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
Not for the reason you think.
You have to watch it.
Hey, look, let me get that bracket. It looks like mine.
So what's your
Mississippi State? They beat Kentucky solid, and so they're very good. They're going to beat Michigan State. Michigan State did not have a great year. I think they kind of came in based on their reputation.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting, my boy told me this, Big Ten has not had a Final Four team, or maybe it's a national champion, since 2000. Since Michigan State in 2000.
Yeah. Yes.
Everyone always thinks Big Ten's so great at basketball. They crumbled in
you're
the
right,
NCAA
2000,
tournament.
and that was Michigan State when they won it.
But it was a different Michigan State.
Exactly.
So I got Mississippi State winning that game. My big upset, I have Grand Canyon beating St. Mary's.
I got that one.
Mm-hmm.
I got that one.
And then I have Grand Canyon beating Alabama. I mean, I have Alabama beating Grand Canyon, but really I think Grand Canyon's going to beat Alabama. I just didn't pull the trigger on that. But did you know that in 32 of the last 38 NCAAs, a 12 has beaten a 5?
Yeah.
I mean, they're always beat.
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't know which 12 is going to win.
Exactly. Which
but one of them's going to do it, and I got Grand Canyon being one of my. Actually, I have two 12s winning this one.
UAB over San Diego State is my 12 up in the East. Put that down. Put it down.
I like it.
There you go.
Make a note.
Okay.
Clemson, I think they're pretenders. I mean, PJ Hall's good, but they kind of crumbled at the end, so I have them losing.
Yeah, he's coming to Carolina next year. That's what I heard.
Oh, wow.
He's smart.
That was real smart.
Either that or he go to Virginia. He can shoot a lot.
He can shoot every time he touches the ball. That's right. But keep going, because I mean, we talking the West right now.
I got Baylor. Baylor beating Arizona. That's the big upset on the bottom half of that bracket. Again, I mean, Caleb Love.
Oh, no.
I love Caleb Love. I love that he has found success.
Yes.
I love that he and RJ were both conference plays.
That's amazing, isn't it?
I've never. I heard the governor say this yesterday. He said, when two people get divorced, you want them to both end up happy.
That's right.
And remarry.
That's right.
This is an instance where they are better off apart, even if they were close friends to this day. Some people should not be married, and that was a marriage that has ended up better for both sides.
Now, you are the Attorney General.
That's right. Josh Stein.
Josh Stein.
Yeah.
Now, but you wrong. You wrong. Arizona?
Yeah.
Going down to Baylor?
Yeah.
Come on.
And by the way,
come on now,
Attorney General, we're going to talk to Steve Robinson, who's former coach at Carolina.
Yes, he's
who's in Arizona now. We're going to talk to him tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
we'll let him know.
Don't tell him I said that.
I was saying the Attorney General said y'all done. Y'all play Baylor.
Wow, but Baylor is a tough team. Yes. It's going to be a little close, but I don't know about that one.
Okay, so then we got Carolina coming out of that. So we have UConn and Carolina playing on one side of the bracket. On the south side, I do have Kmac. I have Duke getting to the Sweet 16.
Playing who?
Houston.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, Houston.
But you know what?
Houston is just tough. And that, I don't think.
That's a
dude,
tough
that's an
matchup
instance
right
where
there.
you have freshmen who are exceptionally talented playing grown men.
That's always the case.
And
Let me
the grown
remind
men
you.
win that
You remember
game.
when they played Tennessee? Was it last year, year before? Tennessee had all these grown men, and Rick Barnes told them to beat Duke up, and that's what they did.
Beat him up.
They beat him up.
And they beat him up.
Yeah, so it's.
I mean, the thing about this Duke
yes.
team that is better than the last couple of years is they got Roach, who's a senior,
Right.
and they got Filipowski, who's a sophomore. I mean, usually it's only freshmen, but they do have a couple vets.
Don't mention Roach's name to K-Mac.
Why not?
Yeah, don't.
I think he's a solid guard. Solid guard.
For who?
No,
For Carolina?
He's been injured. He's been injured a lot this year, K-Mac. Come on.
Where?
Okay.
All right, and then on the other half, I do have State winning the first round game.
I got them going up. They won that championship, Attorney General, last weekend. That's their championship.
Statistically, that's a good call because 5 of the last ACC champs, 3 of them lost in the first round.
Yeah.
2 of them lost of the last 6. 2 lost in the second round.
Yes.
And 1 lost in the Sweet 16. It takes so much out of you to win a conference tournament that it's then hard to sustain it in the NCAA.
If the game was yesterday,
you said that.
I'd give them a shot. Mm-hmm. It's just I think it's too many days, and it's just the excitement has all come down a little bit, and I think it's gonna be hard for them to reset and get back.
But I will say, 5 wins in 5 days.
It was phenomenal.
Was crazy.
Kmac was there. I
was
wasn't there, but
I'm
Kmac
telling
was
you,
there.
Crazy.
And the way they beat Virginia, it felt even better.
You know how
even better.
You know how that ESPN will do that thing where they'll give you the percentage likelihood of winning.
Yeah.
It had to have been 99.9999. Well, it was at the line with 4 seconds.
Oh, my goodness.
With 2 shots.
He missed
Think about it.
And then all they had to do was foul him. He's just running up the court. Just foul him.
That's it.
They had 2 or 3
But
fouls.
then he banks it in, and it rolls around the rim, but coming down, then falls in.
After it hit the backboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it hit the speaker up at the top of the.
Nothing but that.
And then it went in.
Hey, look, people went straight to the lottery. Let me get that pick 3.
But good things happen to State, and that's good. So I think eventually they'll lose. Kentucky is ridiculously talented. Their problem is it's the same as Duke, is they flame out in the tournament because they're young always. But they have picked up their D. But again, once they get to Houston in the Elite Eight, I just see the grown men winning.
That's solid.
Imagine a scenario where NC State wins against Texas Tech.
I have that.
And they have to play Kentucky.
Yeah.
I have them beating Kentucky.
You do?
I do.
I like that.
Well, the thing is, actually, to be honest with you, I like that too.
I will pray for that outcome. I just don't think that outcome will occur.
Hey, I kind of like that too.
I pray for it.
It's close to 50-50.
I mean, DJ Burns.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. He puts this little backspin on it, so it just like sits on the rim and falls in.
See, when you be big all your life like that, you figure out those special kind of shots because the guy's huge.
He's unbelievable.
But his skill set is phenomenal though. The soft touch and everything.
Touch.
Yeah.
You know the boy big.
He was born
He's a
big.
big boy.
You know that boy can't get that seat.
But yet he does get in the seat.
That's true.
I like him.
Yep.
All right, so Houston out of that side. Midwest, here's the deal. Purdue, I told you the Big Ten, they always stink. Purdue always stinks, but at some point.
They're going to win?
Yes, because Virginia loses to a 16 one year as a 1 seed and then wins a championship. Yeah. You know, Purdue lost as a 16 last year. So I don't have them winning the bracket, but I have them getting to the Elite Eight. So this is finally going to be a good year for them. Okay. McNeese State is another 12 that I've got going for.
I thought about them too.
Yep.
I thought about them too.
But then Tennessee, another team coached by a Carolina fellow from Hickory, and they play ridiculous defense. I think the 2 best defenses are Houston and Tennessee, so I have them meeting in the Final Four. Champion.
That's interesting because
I like Tennessee too.
They're a complete team. They got great guards. They got talented centers, and that guy. What's his name? Dalton Kmac.
Kmac is.
He's an NBA player.
We talked yesterday that he's going to be in the top 5 players ever played at Tennessee.
Yeah,
seriously,
he's a serious NBA player. Yeah, he just has a beautiful game. And
we saw him in Chapel Hill. He's 6'6", 6'7", played like a guard, and he can go to the cup. He's a phenomenal basketball player.
That game in Chapel Hill was crazy. Carolina had 60 points.
I know
in the first half, and Tennessee had not allowed like more than 60 points all season.
That was one of the Carolina better games of the season. I remember. I was right there watching. It was crazy.
Super great game. So then Houston beating Tennessee in just a slugfest. Carolina is going to upset UConn. They played them earlier in the year. They lost to them, but they got their number this time. The Heels are going to beat Houston in the championship.
So you got the Heels, UConn, and you got Tennessee and Houston. I'm almost there with you. I'm not picking Houston to make the Final Four.
Really?
Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll see.
Their offense is not great,
right?
But they're so tough.
They was done. I watched the game. The score was 38-16 when they played Iowa State.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that all about?
Don't let the whole season's work be on one game.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's the reverse of NC State. It's the reverse. You should count.
Okay, I got you.
It's the reverse. But Houston is a tough
SmackDown.
It is a tough team. But I will say also on the Alabama pick, the reason I give Alabama the edge is because Nate is a really, really good coach.
Yep.
And he's been there before last year, and I think this team has gotten better, and I think they'll perform better.
So you have them beating Carolina? All right.
He probably does.
Oh, he definitely.
But you know what? I want that.
Has he not unveiled his
no,
bracket yet?
See, I want that now. We're gonna do it tomorrow. But I want that. I want that.
I definitely want that.
You want what? Reese, what do you want?
I would love to see them play Alabama, Carolina. I'm talking about.
Okay.
But the Hill's gonna
They
be
played
just fine.
last year or this year. We played Alabama.
We played.
I think it was last year.
Last year.
I think Carolina won that.
Yeah. So I can't remember. But anyway, but the up and down game, that's we played right into that.
We who?
Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, DJ Bird showed you ain't ready for that yet. You're not ready.
Kmac.
You're not ready.
I didn't believe this, but it is hard to beat the
I
same
can't
team
believe
three times in a row.
Am I stuck on this doggone pedal with 3 Tar Heel? Oh my God!
That's why
No
they
wonder I
invited
feel
me.
bad.
That's why we invited him.
That's exactly.
But it's a lot of reasons we invited. We're gonna get into a little of that on the other side too. Hey man, DL Reese, Kmac, Pound Sauce from A-Town. We got the bracketologist, phenomenal Josh Stein rocking with us. We're talking about Morningside. Let's go, baby.
We all cry when we.
You know, we talked a little bit off mic, and I want to get into it because last week, head coach Nick Saban. Well, can I call him head coach anymore?
Call him legend.
The legend, Nick Saban. Nick Saban. I look, the next thing I know, he testifying or whatever he's doing.
On Capitol Hill.
Talking on Capitol Hill. And I'm like, and then everybody's shocked that he said something that may be a little, big people disgruntled about NIL and transfer portal and all these things. And I know you've been involved, even with the Tez Walker thing here and some other things. Yeah. But let's just start at the top. There's this conversation about NIL, about transfer portal, and about schools and all of these things. There's money, and people are saying it's out of control. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe. But now everybody's like, how do we fix it? What's the direction we should be going? And you just talked to us about some solutions, some ideas. But if it is out of control, what needs to happen?
Yeah, well, the main thing about America is people are free. If you have an opportunity which is better for you, you can go pursue that opportunity. And what the transfer portal rules did was say to student athletes, you can't do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for the university. And that is un-American, and it violates our federal and state antitrust laws, which say you cannot have employers conspire to hold down employees. This came to my attention during the Tez Walker matter when the NCAA grossly unfairly said to the guy he couldn't play because even under the rules as they're written, he should have been granted an exception, and he wasn't. And so we looked at it, and I wrote the NCAA a letter saying this is wrong, and you need to take another look at it, or else we're going to have to pursue this legally. They ended up letting Tez Walker play. Then I heard from Wake Forest about Efton Reed, their center. And so then we looked at his situation, and we wrote the NCAA another letter, and then the NCAA let him play. And then I was talking to some of my other AG colleagues in Ohio and Colorado and West Virginia, and they were having the same frustrations. And so about 8 of us, bipartisan, half Democrats, half Republicans, sued the NCAA for their transfer portal rules. And this is the same concept as a bunch of us have taken action against fast food restaurants. There are a lot of fast food restaurants that had no poach agreements, meaning I will not hire a Burger King employee from across town because I don't want to get into a bidding war with the other Burger King as to what I'm paying my workers. So we'll just keep our people at the lowest wage we can possibly get.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
That is illegal.
Yeah.
And so we've entered into a series of agreements with these fast food restaurants saying that they'll remove these no poach agreements from their employees' contracts and they won't do them anymore because in America, people should be able to do what's best for them. And so we sued and we won. The court issued an injunction and said that the NCAA's transfer rules were unfair, illegal, and could not could not continue. The NCAA then, while the litigation's going on, came to an agreement with us and said that while it's going on, they would not enforce the old transfer portal rules. So now everybody can transfer. Now understand, you still have to be in academic good standing. You can't be a kid who's failing out one place, transfer to another school, fail out there, transfer to another school, fail out there. You have to have be on track to graduate. You have to have a certain GPA. But as long as you are doing that, you should be able to go to the school that's best for you. We do not tell engineering students that if you're at State and you got a better opportunity to go to A&T, you can't transfer to A&T.
Right.
We don't tell symphony students that you're the best violinist, you can't transfer to a second school.
Right.
We should not tell football players or basketball players they can't do what is best for them and their futures.
Awesome. Well, that's a great segue to my question. We're talking to Attorney General Josh Stein. But can we tell colleges and universities when they can transfer? Because this is happening now with Clemson on Monday asking a court to give them permission to leave the ACC without any financial penalties.
So the difference here is that these are institutions that entered into a contract willingly. That there was nobody who told Clemson, you must sign this contract that you helped to negotiate. Clemson's big boys, they went to the table and they signed the contract that they helped to negotiate whenever it was when they did that grant of rights thing. So, I mean, they may not like the decision they made some years ago. They may wish that it didn't happen, but that's what they did.
So they're trying to do the same thing, of course, as Florida State.
Florida State's trying to get out of it too. Yep.
Man, there's a lot of things out there with the NCAA these days. Let me tell you, we're talking to Attorney General Josh Stein, and let's pivot just a little bit. Josh, you've been busy here lately, huh?
Yeah. He said, yeah.
Just a little bit.
It's a big state.
A lot to cover.
It's a beautiful state. Thank goodness it's beautiful. Thank goodness the food's good wherever you go.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of it.
I have.
Opioids, I know, I just hear a lot of things about that. Even you've been on this show to talk about it and just how we need to focus on that because it's become almost a scenario that get a lot of people in situations that they shouldn't get in. Talk about where are we with that right now and how's that going?
Yeah, well, and there is a connection in sports and opioids because there are plenty of high schoolers who tear up their shoulder wrestling or pitching the baseball or busting their knee playing football. And particularly a few years ago, the medical profession had been sold a bill of goods by the opioid drug companies that the best way to treat pain is to give them opioids. It's effective and it's non-addictive. And it turns out neither of those things are true. There are better ways to treat pain than opioids, and they are certainly addictive. And there are a lot of people out there who got addicted because they were prescribed, and then their lives spiraled out of control. I just saw the statistics. We're losing 12 people a day to a drug overdose in this state, and 9 of them, have fentanyl in their system. And fentanyl is a type of opioid.
I'm glad you touched on that because that's what I really want to get because you hear about that almost each and every day. I know people who have people in their family that's just died from that, like in the last 6 months or so, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so fentanyl is the third wave of this crisis. It started out with these pills, the opioid pills. Then they became harder to get as the doctors started realizing they'd been overprescribing. Then it became heroin, and it's all the same chemical. It's all morphine molecules. Heroin was cheaper than the pills. Well, then it turns out that one of the chemicals that have been developed in the lab is fentanyl. And you can actually make fentanyl so much easier. You don't have to grow a plant. You just have a lab. And as long as you have the chemicals, you can make it. And it's so concentrated that literally just a few grains of salt worth are enough to knock you out and potentially kill you. And so from the drug dealer's perspective, I don't have to wait for the sun to shine on the opiate plant, on opium. I can just go ahead and make it in the lab in Mexico and then bring it in here. And that's what's happening. And they're pressing them into pills so they look like the pharmaceutical pills. They're selling them as Xanax or as Vicodin or whatever, and it's killing people. And now they're lacing marijuana. They're lacing cocaine. So basically, if you're buying drugs in the illicit drug train, you have no idea what is in it. You may think you're getting a pill. You may think you're getting ecstasy. You may think you're getting cocaine, and what you're getting is something that's laced with fentanyl that will get you addicted, and it can kill you.
Right.
Something's been manufactured.
Yeah.
We're talking to North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, and great conversation today. Great things. Real quickly, we're gonna let you get. We're gonna hold you for too much longer, but as you've been the Attorney General here, you've done a lot of great stuff. As you kind of look right now across the landscape, and you look, what's next? We just talked about opioids, but what's next? What's out there that we don't see, that you see, that you guys have been working on from your office?
Well, fentanyl really is it, and we've been putting together a fentanyl task force of law enforcement of local, state, and federal so that we can better cooperate. We can come up with new solutions to address the problem. We're working on a money laundering statute to try to raise the cost on the drug dealers so they don't make as much money peddling this poison in our communities. Of course, I had already won that $50 billion from the big drug companies.
Right.
That money is now in the communities all across the state saving lives. And so that's good. That's about driving down demand, getting fewer people addicted. So the way you solve a problem like this is get fewer people wanting the drugs and make the drugs much more expensive by making it harder on the drug traffickers.
So before we let you go, we'll be remiss if we don't even ask you how the endeavor you're taking on right now, the governor of North Carolina, how's that campaign going for you right now?
Well, our mutual good friend, Roy Cooper, Governor Cooper, he's term limited, so he can't outrun again, and I'm running. And 2 weeks ago, I was honored by the voters. They made me the Democratic nominee.
Okay,
congratulations.
Yeah,
excited about it. And now I'm focused on the task at hand, which is getting out there, talking to as many people, hearing people. I'm trying to win the vote of every single North Carolinian.
Yeah.
The way you win is you listen and you tell them who you are, what you've been about, and what you want to fight for them as governor. And I want to have an economy that works for everybody. That if you come from a small town, you shouldn't have to leave that small town to make it. If you want to stay there, you should be able to stay there. I want to have good schools in every community, and people have got to be safe in their neighborhoods. And we can build a better future here in North Carolina, and I'm eager to get at it as governor, but work hard for these next 7 months to win this thing.
There you go.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, as always, Josh, it's a pleasure. We see you every year.
We
see you.
Yeah, this is nothing new, right?
And look, hopefully, I'll see you at the Final Four. We'll meet again. We'll do this one more time.
I was going to say, if your job changes in a great way, you got to come back next year. Don't be trying to bid time us now. I'm telling you right now. Don't be trying to bid time us now. Like, I got to call about 8 people to get you. No, I ain't trying to. Don't be bid time.
You got my number.
Look, not that I'm complaining, but there was a guy before you. He used to come on all the time, but once he got promoted.
Exactly. That's why I said that.
We hadn't seen him since.
I'll have to say something to somebody.
I'm just saying. Now he's like, well, you could come to the house.
That's cool too, though. But you know what I'm saying.
I appreciate you inviting us to the governor's mansion. We'll work it out. I guarantee you. What you got, A-Town?